I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
You might be familiar with Keanu Reeves, star of what movies? The Matrix, of course, and Speed, and oh, wow, you guys know them all. Good. He has an amazing presence, doesn't he? I understand that he is a conscious being who lives consciously, who puts that essence into his characters that he plays. There's a kind of basic conscious centeredness that emulates through him, and that is the truth of who he is. He lives generously. He gives a lot of what he makes to charity. And from what I've seen of him, he lives to exemplify kind of what we're talking about today, about this energy, giving this energy of right effort to anything he does. He was aggressively accosted by a reporter who called him names and whatnot. And instead of getting into upset, he simply said, "You're a nice person. Have a nice day." Wow, what a lesson. Whether through generosity or graciousness, he's a champion for worthy causes. He's really, I think, a model of what we're talking about today, which is right effort, which is about right energy, right? We know that everything science is finding is about energy, and we are energy. And so a lot of what we're talking about today is how can we direct this energy, funnel this energy in us, through us, as us, so that we are able to come from this centered place of love and light. Today this is our 6th day studying the Eightfold Path, and today it is right effort, which is, effort is the energy that we give to life, and the 8 principles on the Eightfold Path, even though we're sort of taking them one at a time and kind of going clockwise around the circle, they really all work together to create a mindful consciousness, to create a consciousness of love and light. And they're principles that the Buddha taught, that it's really about instilling all of them and living all of these 8 principles. And it's kind of fun to draw the similarity between Buddhism and unity. And it's kind of why I embarked on this journey of the Eightfold Path, because I really wanted to know myself, how is Buddhism similar to unity? And in the Buddhist tradition, right effort is the diligent cultivation of wisdom, morality, and compassion. And it's really about applying our energy skillfully to our lives and not doing any harm and offering goodness wherever we are. Unity similarly emphasizes the importance of purposeful values and value-based living. Our emphasis really is about connecting with the essence of spirit, which is the truth of who we are, and living our lives as manifestations of that presence and being that presence. So both of these paths are so similar, and it's really all about how do we live our lives in loving and productive ways that have a benefit to the world. So I've got some key understandings that we're talking about today, 4 of them, that kind of help us to understand what it means to live this right effort, to live this right energy. And the first one is that our energy shapes our lives and our experiences. Right? The world, the universe, tends to respond to us and reflect to us what our energy is. How are we presenting ourselves to the world affects what we get back, and what we get back affects how we are in the world. So it's kind of this energy shapes our lives and experiences, and it's interactive and happening all the time. And I guess the idea is, if you don't like what you're getting, maybe you should change what you're giving. And so we're going to look at some things today that can help us to really kind of check in with ourselves and see, where are we energetically? What are we giving? What are we getting? And is that cool? Right? Is it working for us? I love what Albert Einstein said. He said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." And he channeled this curiosity into the energy of his life, which helped to lead him to amazing breakthroughs in science. I believe that he sincerely nourished his curiosity in such a way that he learned not to be complacent, that he learned to be active, that he learned to be alive, and he learned to be present in the world. And it's funny that he says, I don't have anything special. We kind of hold him up as being somebody who was idealistically brilliant, more brilliant than we think that we are. And yet he says, I have no special talent. I am just really curious. I want to know why things happen. I want to know why they work. I want to know why they don't. So it's really about, Einstein is sharing that we can direct our precious life energy in ways that determine our becoming. And what we can really do to do that is to recognize that the challenges that we have are signals, they're guideposts pointing towards our right effort. So the challenges that we have in our lives are really saying, oh, ever get one of those? Oh, it's a challenge, right? Oh, I got this opportunity. Oh, this situation is present for me. Oh, this person's upset with me. Oh, I'm upset with this person, right? Oh, isn't it great? Because it's a guidepost. It's a guidepost saying there's something that you get to look at here. What is that? What's that pointing to that I can hold on to, look at, observe, and see, how am I spending my energy? Am I spending my effort in the right way? So we're going to look at some of those challenges today. And the first one is distraction. Are you easily distracted? Right? Ever find yourself going from one thing to the other, right? Being distracted, not being able to stay focused. So apparent for so many of us in this high-tech media world that we live in, right? Where if you're like me, you spend a lot of your day looking at YouTube videos, right? And being totally distracted by what you're seeing. So if you are finding yourself distracted, then what you can do is to direct your energy towards something that really matters, right? The reason that you're distracted, it's like your mind is saying, oh, I'm distracted, I don't know what to do, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right? And the message is, take a breath. Put your focus on something that really matters. It's like your mind is upset with us and distracts us because it's that presence of spirit within. It's the universe saying, wake up. It's time to wake up, right? Isn't it fun? Are you enjoying this so far? So the key then is to, if we're distracted, if you're distracted, if I'm distracted, is to say, okay, what is it that I'm not focusing on? Because the mind is jumping all around trying to find out what it is that really needs to be done. So it looks here, it looks there, it looks here, it looks there, it looks here, it looks there, right? And you're going, ah! That was fun. Oh, so another thing that can often be the universe affecting you is fatigue. Are you mentally fatigued? Are you physically fatigued? Because fatigue is, again, it's the universe saying, I won't clap my hands again because I scared something out of a few people. And we'll clean that up in a minute. So if you're feeling fatigued, it means that you're not being passionate. Again, the body, the spirit is saying you're fatigued because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? And so you sit around being fatigued. It's like the universe is saying, again, wake up. Do something that you're passionate about. Find out what it is you're passionate about. Take a breath. Those two are painful. And the third thing that can become an obstacle, that again is a signpost the universe is showing us, is fear or anxiety. If we're fearful or anxious, again, the universe is saying, wake up, pay attention. The solution is to do things that engage your heart. It's like that fatigue is a result of your heart going in, closing down on itself, right? And that's why it feels so afraid, or why you're so anxious, because it's your heart is just saying, oh, I guess I don't matter. I guess I'm not important. So what is it you can do to act with your heart? To engage your heart? I got one more. And that one is impatient. Do you ever feel impatient? Do you ever, and really the idea here is if you're spending the predominance of your time experiencing any of these, I think we all experience them from time to time, but if there's a predominance of our life that's spent with any of these, then we need to put on our life glasses. So, do you feel impatient? Do you feel like the world is moving too slow? Do you feel like you want so much to happen and you're impatient that the world, that your life isn't producing the fruit that you wanted to produce? And are you feeling that impatience? And the solution is to discover what your purpose is. Because if you are impatient and you're frustrated and you can't seem to get the boat moving, it's because you don't have a purpose. And you're not living your purpose. You might even know what it is. But are you living your purpose? So if you have, do you know what your purpose is? Can you put it in one sentence? If I was to ask you, tell me what your purpose in your life is, could you write it down in one sentence? I can. My purpose is to discover truth, live it, practice it, share with others, and have fun doing it. Right? And I'm doing that. So what is it that is for you? So your homework this week, and I would say I'd ask you when you come to Unity next Sunday, but then you wouldn't come if you didn't have an answer. So, but what I want you to do this week is write down in one sentence, this is my purpose. This is why I'm on this planet. This is why I'm in this body. This is why I'm having this life. And what is that purpose? Define it. And I want you to be able to tell me what it is. Because once you discover what it is, the whole roof is going to be lifted off of you, right? Because until we are expressing our purpose as being spiritual beings in these physical bodies, we're going to experience all that stuff that we did before, right? Because they're all signals from the universe saying, wake up. Come on, I got you. I got you back. This is what you're here for. Yeah? Is this all a bunch of BS? Adam says, yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, and you know it's true, right? You know this is why you're here. I know you know that's why you're sitting in this room. I know that's why you realize that you have you're on a spiritual journey, a spiritual quest. And it all begins with this. What is your purpose? These are the signals that are messengers to the way home for you. These are signals, they're messages from your spirit, from the universe, to say, this is why I'm here. Anybody remember who Amanda Gorman is? Wow. Wow. She became the youngest inaugural poet in the U.S., and she made history by speaking at the inauguration in 2021. And you might know she had a speech impediment as a child, and she had difficulty speaking. She didn't have any confidence in her ability to speak. But instead of repressing it, she's like, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn how to speak. I'm going to learn how to write poetry. And she worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. Instead of running away from it, she embraced it and says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write poetry that's going to make a difference in the world. Wow. So I'm going to play just a little bit of that speech, about 2 minutes of it. And I think it's so appropriate right now when we consider the challenges that our country is facing, and when we consider the challenges that Maui is facing. And so she's kind of encouraging all of us to wake up. So here's Amanda Gorman.
We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
If only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. Through diligent yet easeful effort, she overcame obstacles and now inspires millions with her words. Her journey shows that dedicating our energy compassionately bears fruits of renewal within us and within the world. The third key to living right effort is to focus your energy on deeper callings, then act on them sincerely. So I've got some ideas on how to do that. You're going to say, okay, Rav, how do I do this? Well, I got a couple ideas, more than a couple. And the first one is to meditate to get clarity and purpose. It's really important that we spend time reflecting, asking our higher self, what is it that I need to know? What is it I need to be? Oh, there's a slide back here I meant to show you. I saw. You know, in discovering what your purpose is not about getting something. It's about being something. What is your spirit calling you to be? So meditate regularly. Pursue experiences that fully engage you. Why? Because that's where your spirit is. That's where your life is. That's where your energy is. That's where your effort is. To do things that fully engage your mind, body, and your spirit. And to use the talents that you have to serve other people. That, I believe, is why we're on this planet, right? That's why we can talk, why we can hold each other, why we can hug each other, why we can be with each other. Because we are here to let our talent show. Is why we're all different, because we all have different talents. Let them show. Be who you are. And the next one is, don't just donate, even though that's great, and I don't want to encourage you not to do that, but offer time and connection, right? We can donate online, we can donate, and it's great, and it's energy, but we're really called as spiritual beings to connect with other people, to give of our time, to give of our connection. And this one I've been working on, and that's to cut back on the clatter. Get rid of the clatter in my head and the clutter on my desk, right? To get rid of the clatter and the clutter and create space for what really matters. Yeah? So you can, it's like, you know, I cleaned my office dramatically a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, what a difference that made. I can actually find stuff, right? I put stuff in files and in boxes, and I noticed that it helps me to stay focused, right? Because I'm not looking at this going, oh, this should be somewhere else, and this should be somewhere else. It's like, this is a time in our lives when we need to be focused. And I'm encouraging you to cut back on the clatter and the clutter and create space for what matters in your life. And then another thing that's really important too is just to spend time in nature. Go for a walk on the beach. Go for a walk in the Makawa forest. Do something to get outside. Because when we're in nature, we get out of our heads, right? We get out of our heads and into our heart and into our bodies. So take time to be in your body, in your heart, to feel what you're feeling. And then, like Einstein said, develop curiosity. Have a beginner's mind. Be curious about things, about why things work. Be curious about how you can love more. Be curious about how you can give more. Be curious about how you can be the light. And then act on purpose, give fully, and don't hold back. And a lot of times our ego tells us, oh, I can only give so much. I can only do so much. And that is true. We don't want to overextend ourselves, but we do want to be part of making a difference in the world. As Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And then devote energy to unlocking your potential and boldly pursue it. Wow, just to get into that feeling of what that feels like to really unlock your potential, to feel your potential, to move forward with it. The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others, said Albert Schweitzer. To give energy, to serve, and to show compassion. Might be a good time to do our affirmation here. And let's say it together. Together. I consciously devote my energy to making a positive difference in the world. And just feel that again. What does that feel like? Your soul knows, your spirit knows that you are here as an expression of spirit to give life, to bring life, to be love, to give love. And the fourth key to emulate right effort is to act to benefit the world. Do something to benefit the world. And what does that mean for you? What is it that you have naturally that you can give? And it doesn't mean you have to get out and do what Amanda does. But what is it for you that you can do to serve the world that ignites you and ignites other people and feeds us all this valuable life energy? And maybe it's just, you might say, well, I'm more of an introvert. I only want to affect one person at a time. Then do that. Do what feeds you, what feeds the world. And a part of this, you might be saying, wait a minute, you've shown me a lot of stuff today, and it's freaking me out. Well, part of the Buddha's path of awakening is to walk the middle path. And the middle path is that place in between going crazy and doing everything and doing nothing. So the middle path is about discovering what is it I can walk the middle road where I'm not crazily spending my energy in ways that deplete me, and yet I'm not stuck on the couch, right? What is the middle way that I can be with all of this? That I can be a blessing to the world, that I can be a light in the world, and still take care of myself. I think it's kind of interesting. There's a change happening in the unity movement right now. We used to be so focused on just taking care of self, just relaxing, just doing my spiritual work for me. But now it's shifting. Now we do take care of ourselves, but we also reach out and help the world. We are aware of our consciousness and that our work is really about empowering people to do their best. It's not just, we don't just hide our light under a light shade anymore. It's time that we take it off and we be the light of the world and serve the world in some way. It's like we've done our work, right? We've gotten pretty focused, we've gotten pretty spiritual, and now it's, let's go do it. Let's go share these amazing teachings that we have with the rest of the world. I think unity in general is one of the best kept secrets that there is, right? And, it takes a child a certain amount of time crawling and walking before they can get out and run. And now is the time for us to run towards helping other people. So I have a prayer that I'm going to leave you with today. May your exertions be guided by your soul, watering that which nourishes a flowering humanity. When motivated by this, hardship loses its sting. Joy, renewal, and the fruits of right effort will fill your days. And so it is. And I invite you to close your eyes, and we'll do a Om Shanti Om meditation.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Hi everybody. My name is Larissa, and maybe somebody remember me. I was a member of this church when I live in Mal and Kihi side, and I went to the prayers and meditation and services on Sundays, and then I moved to Lahaina side, and I live in Honokawai now. And I actually used to work on Sundays, so now I don't have a job, so I can come here. I just want to tell you guys, there's such distress in the other side of the island. People are devastated. They need your help. They need your help to be in unity, like we all believe it's okay for Maui. We have to be united, because right now some people just in shock and they just can't even cry. And then other people, like on the Kihi sides and Walea, wrote into for the tourists coming back. So it's divide us. We have to be united of what happened. And I know people who sit here, we're not very rich people, but because it's a church, it's unity. We have to have somehow shout out for the word. What happened in Lahaina is such an evil act. And the world have to hear about this. Like, it's just undescribable, but I just say like one story. My manager of the complex I live, his name is Tui, and he's a local guy, very hard working. Every day he works on the ground. So he lost his house. And I talked to him, he's totally break. And I think these people, they can't even speak up for themselves. That's why we have to start speaking up for them. We who, like, my place is all right. I don't have job, don't have income, but I have my place, I have friends, I have my family. These people are practically just trapped in their despair. And they don't have help, they don't have much help. Everything which goes from the government is so bureaucratized, and they just keep silent. They just don't want to even speak. So Tui, and the day when the fire started, he was working in Honokawai in my complex, and he saw the smoke coming from Lahaina. He saw that something going on. He's a smart guy. He jumped, and he's in his late 60s, 70s, so he's not a young guy. He knows that in his house in Lahaina, and he lives in Lahaina Luna area, his wife and his 4 grandchildren. That's what I understand. So he went there, and he saw that fire is coming down to the ocean. So he tried to evacuate his family from this place. He put his wife and his 4 grandchildren, I don't know how old are they, to this truck. And they tried to and when he started driving, everything was bumper to bumper. So when he came to the bypass, and it's very easy to go to the highway, and he saw that it's clear, there was a police who not allowed them to do this. They say, no, you're not allowed. All these people staying in a car, such a good, hard-working citizens, they were obeying. One guy, Tui said that they saw how he gave this policeman pizza box. I don't know what was it, pizza or what it was in this box, and he let him go to the highway. Everybody else's were directed to go to the fire, straight to the fire. And since Tui he's a manager and he knows that there is new development, they all have propane tanks. And it's only minutes when they started blowing. That's what happened. All the propane tanks in the houses, they start to blow up. And it was like he said, it was like a stones of fire in the air. And in some point, he said, that's it. I can't obey and stay in this line with the cars, and people were sitting there. He said, we have to run. He and his wife and his 4 grandchildren, they run, and they run to the Safeway area. There is a ditch made for the water. So he basically said it was so smoky and so fiery that they have to run to this ditch. Many people actually saved their lives in this channel. So he basically, and it was locked. So somebody has some other people were running, and they have a metal grounder. So they ground the lock, send themselves to escape through this channel. That's how they survive, and they just run for their lives. They shocked, But whatever happened to them, it's an act of evil, and we have to act like a light, because this is what we're here for. And thank you, Blaine, for your speech today, because it's so moving.
You have 10 more seconds.
Yeah, it's so moving. I just say, if you guys, we need somebody like Keanu Reeves to stand up and have some help for these people. I have his phone number, I have his GoFundMe number, information. So please, guys, just don't be locked in your shells. Just shut out. This is the time.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to take all this into prayer and into meditation. And we know there is no evil. There is no evil source in the world. Unity, we don't believe in evil. But we do believe that things happen that don't feel good and that aren't right. And we can work together with Spirit to bring love in. And I believe that's what we're doing. And so let's join together in meditation and to be a loving presence of healing on Maui. Breathing in and breathing out. And we know that the presence of Spirit is right here. The presence of love is right here. And we know there is only one presence and one power in the universe. It is God, it is spirit, it is love, it is light. And so let's invite that presence into the fullness of our beingness, to be in that light. And we know and affirm that this light, this energy of spirit is filling all of us. It is the essence of who we are. And we envision this light moving across Maui, touching every heart, every soul, every space, every being. And we know that this light is especially profound and significant and enfolding in Lahaina. And we know that right now, in this moment, there are many hearts that are open. There is much love that's being expressed and experienced. And we see the love of this light moving and touching every soul, every being. We breathe in and breathe out. And we know that the presence of God, of spirit, of light and love is right there. And our hearts are open and feel what so many people are feeling. And we hold that everyone has the strength and the power and the wisdom to do what they can to soothe, to love, to bless, to comfort. To release all thoughts of anything else but love. Because love serves spirit. Love serves the highest effort. And let us hold that. Release everything else but love. Love is what's needed now. Love is what's active now. So let us be emissaries of love and light. And hold that. As we breathe in and breathe out, filled with renewed energy, with peace. As we act to serve the presence of God within us on Maui and in the world. I consciously devote my energy to making a positive difference in the world. And I invite you to begin to open your eyes and to bring your awareness and your heart back to this moment. And we get to let our souls be lightened by the love and the beauty of Marianne's voice.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine. I switched the songs because, as you could tell, the first one was about world peace. And that was written by Ed McCurdy back in 1950. Last night I had the strangest dream, shortly after World War II. Let's keep dreaming. Like a bird on a wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free. Oh, like a worm on a hook, like a knight in some old-fashioned book, I have saved all my ribbons for thee. If I have been unkind, I hope that you will know, give it no mind. And if I have been untrue, I hope you know it wasn't never to you. Like a baby stillborn, like a beast with its horn, I have torn everyone who reached out to me. Ah, but I swear by this song, and by all that I have done wrong, I will make it all up to thee. I saw a beggar leaning on his wooden crutch, called out to me, why ask for so much? And that pretty lady leaning on her darkened door, she cried out to me, why not ask for more? Oh, like a bird on a wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried and tried and tried. Oh, I've tried and I've tried. I've tried in my way to be free. Effort. Try.
Thank you, Marianne. All right. So I invite you at this time to prepare your tithes and your love offerings. Mine's around here somewhere. And as you hold your gifts, I invite you to reflect again on what is your purpose. And what is it that you are in this world to be? And maybe you're beginning to get some sense of what that is. Maybe just pick a couple words. Loving, powerful, spiritual. What might that be? And as you give your gift today, I invite you to consider that as you give, you receive, and you give of your energy of money, and you receive the energy of life, a purpose. So as we hold our gifts, let's pray and affirm together our prayer and affirmation of prosperity, which begins, through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. So it is. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they're moving with the energy of love through this ministry out across this island and out into the world. And we behold a world filled with love, with light, with joy, and with peace. And so it is. Thank you. All right. So I've got just a couple announcements today. First of all, did you notice this amazing bouquet behind me? Kealoha made this, and she's offering it with aloha to all of us. And wow, it is really outstanding. Did you make this for a special occasion, or was it made just for today?
I made it because when I signed up, I said that I was dedicating it to the spirit of aloha.
Mm.
This island really needs to embrace more than anything now. And I saw those and they look a little bit like these lilies that I saw. So it's actually 3 plants.
Oh, it is. Uh-huh. Wow, it's beautiful.
And the design, too.
I don't know if I can remember all of what you said. Could you come up and tell us? People are just living to know Kealoha.
When I signed up,
There we go. I think you're on.
I wanted to dedicate something to the spirit of aloha because of what this island has been through. And when I saw them, they reminded me of peace lilies, which are very fragile and hard to make anything out of. They're calla lilies. They're actually 3 plants that I intend to keep. But I offer them for all of our healing and all of us to remind ourselves of the goodness in us and what aloha and love are capable of.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it as well as that. All right, so thank you. There's a sign-up sheet in the back if you'd like to bring flowers on an upcoming Sunday. Just sign up, pick a date, sign up, and if you can, let us know how you'd like your flowers to be dedicated, and we'd love to mention it on Sunday morning. And as you know, we continue Prashante continues to do her weekly Tuesday night class here from 6 to 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday. And my Walk Your Talk is in the back if what I shared with you today is valuable to you. Pick up a copy. It'll help you to remember what we talked about today. And next week, we continue on this path of of the Eightfold Path, and my talk next week is titled The Art of Mindful Living. And so we'll look at really how can we become even more mindful. So much of what we've been talking about is that, but next week it's really about how can we be more mindful, how can we practice mindfulness, and I'll give you some practical exercises and some experiences around that. So thank you for being here today, and why don't we stand and take a deep breath. We'll say the prayer for protection, and then Marianne will guide us in the peace song. Thank you. All right, so together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Thank you for being here today. God bless you. See you next week.
Where I live, they're all raised